a secret to tell you. Anyone can learn a new language. Today, I'm gonna share how I learned Spanish in just 2 months. Yes, you heard that right, 2 months. And if you think that's crazy, wait until you check out my Spanish-only comedy channel where I make a fool of myself and my girlfriend laughs at my expense. She'll think it's funny until it's time for her to learn English, and I can take my sweet, sweet revenge. But why am I sharing this secret method, you ask? Well, I'm on a mission to prove that anyone can learn Spanish faster than a plate of churros disappears at a fiesta. And yes, I know that's truly not a good joke, but back to the video. You may be thinking, I tried to learn it in school, but it never stuck. Spanish for me was my worst class too. I had a teacher that used to say, Senor Jack, wrong again, and I was so bad he wouldn't even make fun of me in Spanish because he knew I wouldn't understand it. I gave up on language learning until I discovered this exact method, and I'll show you the steps I took to get to fluency faster than anyone else. Stick with me into the end, and I'll reveal my top secrets that will send your language learning into overdrive. Learning any language can be broken down into 4 things: mindset, accountability systems, resources, and daily practice. First, the mindset. You've got to have your why. Why Spanish, or any language for that matter? Is it the allure of a vibrant culture, the appeal of expanding job opportunities, the sheer joy of learning something new, or a spicy Latin lover? No lie or no cap, as the kids are saying, language learning is very difficult, and we need a strong reason to do it. Think of all the benefits it will bring to your life and write those down in a list, because you will need to look back at these in difficult times. Now we have our list of reasons why we want to learn. Let's explore some accountability systems to keep us on track. Let's take a page out of Tim Ferriss. Tim is a guy who's mastered multiple languages and wrote The 4-Hour Workweek, a great book, by the way. His secret weapon, the anti-charity. You send a sum of money, say $200, $1,000, whatever's gonna hurt, to a trusted friend, and you set your language learning goal, like, I will complete 100 flashcards per day and 1 Pimsluer lesson. And if you fall short, that money is donated to an organization you dislike, like an organization that only hurts puppies or kittens or something. Sounds drastic. Well, that's the point. It's a potent motivator to keep you designed. Now, let's add a little bit more excitement to this. It's optional, but I highly recommend it. Book a trip to a Spanish-speaking country in 6 months from now. It's not just the thrill of travel, but about setting a clear, tangible goal for yourself. Imagine being able to converse with locals, navigate through the streets, and truly immerse yourself in the culture. Now, let's talk about resources. There are 4 resources that I recommend: Pimsluer, flashcards, professional teachers, and general media in Spanish. First, start by subscribing to Pimsluer's Spanish Latin American plan. The beauty of this is that you can listen to it while you're doing mundane tasks like walking, cleaning. You might look a little weird muttering Spanish to yourself, but remember, Steve Jobs had his most important meetings while walking, so being a bit quirky is not a bad thing. Also, you'll sound quite silly for a while on your language learning journey, so best to get desensitized to looking foolish early. I used to walk around talking to myself in Spanish, so I'm probably known as the neighborhood crazy guy, but that's fine. I was known as that before I started speaking Spanish anyway. Second, we need spaced repetition software, also known as SRS. Spaced repetition software isn't just another fancy tech term, but a game changer in the language learning arena. SRS programs like Anki or Memrise are designed based on scientific research on how memory works. Ever tried to cram for an exam the night before a test? How much of that information do you remember now? Not much, I'm sure. That's because our brains are not designed to remember information that we saw or learned only once. Our brains are like muscles that need regular workouts to become stronger. This is where SRS comes in. Spaced repetition presents information just before your brain is about to forget it, training your brain to strengthen its memory. Now, imagine pairing this superpower with the strategy of the world's best chess players, which is studying patterns. This is where frequency lists come into play. Frequency lists are like the cheat code to language learning. They are a collection of the most commonly used words in a language. Think about it. We use only a fraction of the words available to us in a given day. By focusing on these high frequency words, you are able to understand and participate in daily conversations. For example, the top 2,000 words in the English language cover about 80% of the English spoken day to day. This is the 80-20 principle at play. 80% of the language can be acquired with 20% of the effort, focusing on the most common words and phrases. Third, we really need to bring in the pros, and that's learning from native speakers. Platforms like Preply and italki provide affordable, flexible tutors that cater to your language learning needs. Consider them your personal language fitness trainers, pushing you to hit your language learning goals. Pro tip: prepay for a package of lessons. Personally, I hate the idea of wasting money and letting people down. In the beginning, having someone to speak to multiple times a week forces you to study. Now, as you start getting the hang of it, it's time to switch gears and crank up the immersion level. This is where Baseline comes in. Baseline connects you to native Spanish speakers for unlimited daily conversations and lessons. It's like having a Spanish-speaking friend that's always at your fingertips, ready to chat and help you out. I used to take a minimum of 4 Baseline classes a day for over a year. Crazy, right? But I really wanted to learn more after basic fluency. Conversations will be the single most important thing you do. This is what the traditional school system misses. If I only wanted to learn a language to read it, then you might as well have picked Latin. The faster you can speak, the faster you can make real life connections, and the faster you'll learn. Finally, immerse yourself in Spanish media. Netflix, music, newspapers, switch them all to Spanish. This strategy is borrowed from none other than Oscar-winning director Guillermo del Toro. He learned English by watching The Twilight Zone. Okay, we've got our mindset, accountability systems, and resources in place. Now, the real work. It's time to study. Maintain a daily log. Record what you studied each day, what you struggled with, and what you excelled in. It's your language learning diary. As you see the pages fill up, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment and progress. Another powerful tip is to put a reverse countdown on the top of your page log. It takes about 2 months of dedicated practice to be decent at speaking in Spanish, depending, of course, on how much time you put in to study. In my opinion, 6 months is very reasonable if you study an hour a day. And there you have it, a foolproof guide to learning Spanish, or any other language for that matter. I promised you a golden nugget at the start, didn't I? Well, here it is. Embrace making mistakes. Language acquisition isn't a clear, linear process. You're going to fumble, stumble, and mispronounce words all along the way. That's not just okay, it's a vital part of the process. Remember, when you make a mistake in a conversation, it's an opportunity to correct a misconception and improve. The fear of errors can inhibit your progress and keep you from practicing the language in a real life scenario.